Hello, thank you for joining me. To start off with, I would like to just thank you for watching this video, and thanks for subscribing and thumbs upping and commenting and all that stuff that people do. I really appreciate it. Helps keep me going, making these videos. So thanks very much. And today I'm going to talk about some Wii pickups. This is part of an initiative that I guess I've started to play some more Nintendo stuff. Over the years, haven't been much of a Nintendo gamer, and especially the Wii, I blew it off and completely discounted it as a fad and a gaming system for non-gamers and all kinds of stuff. So I've gotten over that just a little bit, and I'm taking another look at it and going, we're at the end of the lifespan, and the Wii has had some decent games come out for it, so I want to check those out, and some of the stuff I can get a little bit cheaper and maybe pick up a used system, so maybe some of that's a little bit selfish in that regard, but I am throwing some new money at some new games coming out for it, and I'll talk about those too, but let's get started. For starters, I have Rise Fantasia. This looks like a cool Japanese RPG. Looks a little bit like the Tales series, and I don't think it has anything to do with that. It's not Namco or Namco Bandai or anything like that. It's just a JRPG. I don't know who this is. Image Epoch and Marvelous. I popped this in, played it for maybe 10, 20, 30 minutes, and from what I remember, the intro just it seemed unique enough that I wasn't, they didn't just reach up and pull it off the cliche shelf, and I really appreciated that. So for a Japanese RPG on the Wii, it looks like it has pretty nice graphics and has some promise, has some potential. So definitely cool to own that on the Wii. Next up, I have Castelvania Judgement. And this is a game that was not what I was expecting. I discounted it at first as a 3D Castlevania game, and maybe I'm being a little closed-minded, but I'll take a 2D Castlevania game any day. Not that interested in a 3D Castlevania. I can't see it making that transition very successfully. But this is a 3D fighting game, and maybe that doesn't sound much more appealing at first blush, but if you take a little closer look at it, let me paint it this way. For starters, think Soul Calibur. So, Soul Calibur is a cool game. I mean, if you want to play Soul Calibur, you can go play Soul Calibur. There's a whole bunch of them. But take that, and then you have the Castlevania sort of really gothic, vampire style. A lot of characters from the old games, characters I haven't even played or really know much about, all together in a versus fighting game, and it's got character designs by the guy that did the designs for Death Note. Okay, and then instead of like Soul Calibur, you kind of have the characters that are sort of facing each other all the time, even when you move side to side, you kind of move like this. This is more of a little arena that you run around in. So it's like Power Stone mixed with all of these things. So if that doesn't excite you a little bit, I would be surprised. I mean, maybe in that case you won't like this game, and it really surprised me. Very cool pickup for the Wii. Next up, we have Fragile Dreams. And this is the first out of these 3 games so far that I would say you're obligated to at least go and look at some videos on YouTube and check this out, because this blew me away. Again, I've only played maybe a half hour of this, so take this with a grain of salt, but this looked really amazing, and it just, I was really taken aback. This makes me glad that I got a Wii. It's essentially a little bit adolescent, I think, in its premise, and it's like such a lonely, angsty teen sort of fantasy, I think, that it's based off of, where it's like, you're this boy, and it's in this post-apocalyptic world, and there's no other people around, so it's kind of just you, and this older man was taking care of you, and he passed away. So, but you were both living in this old observatory, I guess, and you see this note, and he's like, I'm sorry I didn't
love you more, but you need to find other people, and go east or something like that. I forget exactly what it was, but it's really, I mean, I guess just getting back to the adolescent fantasy of it. I mean, it's like the only other person in the world that you meet, so far is like, this young, innocent, pretty girl. It's like she's wearing an apron, and this is the reverse artwork when you flip this over. It's not the regular artwork, but take all of that, and it's just the presentation and everything about this, though, is just great. And I think it has science fiction elements to it, and but it just has this really great atmosphere. And the opening theme song and video, I think, really sets the tone for it. So even if you do a YouTube search and you just find the opening animation, maybe I'll put a link to it or something, just watch that. If this seems anything like something you'd like, I think it's presented a lot like a visual novel or something like that. And you move around like with a flashlight with your Wiimote, and you find items and solve puzzles. It seems like an exceptionally cool game. So another pickup on the Wii that I think I'm actually extremely pleased with. Next is Muramasa, the Demon Blade. This is one that seems like it's hard to go wrong with. We're talking Vanillaware. So stuff like Odin Sphere and Grim Grimoire and stuff like that. The Achilles heel, I think, is the gameplay on those. It's unique on each of them. But this takes it steps it up, because I think the gameplay is more accessible. And it plays kind of like you're playing Ninja Scroll. You're one of those characters. You're like you're really, I think, a samurai more than a ninja, but you can jump 30 feet into the air, and you can jump onto trees. You can double jump, and you can float down, and you do these crazy sword attacks, and it's just, you have two different swords you can choose between, and it's really cool, and it's just beautiful. You have to see the artwork on this. This is, go ahead, look up a video for it. It's cool, and this, as far as I know, is coming out on the Vita. So the Sony / Vita fan in me wants to support that. But I think this is worth having on the Wii, because it's you can play it on the big TV, which I think is really cool. So very pleased with that pickup. Next up, Phantom Brave, and this is kind of a vanity pickup for me. I have it on the PlayStation 2, so I didn't really need to pick this up, but from what I hear, this has some extra content, and it's Nipponichi and it's Phantom Brave, so I figured I'd get it. And when I sit down to play this game, I'll probably play the Wii version instead of the PS2 one. Next is Shiren the Wanderer, and this is just looking at it, I'm like, okay, developed by Chunsoft, published by Atlas. How can I go wrong? There's a DS game, and I just talked about the one on the Dreamcast, which seems like a really cool game. These are kind of roguelike dungeon crawlers set in feudal Japan. Check out that box art. How cool is that? Kudos for beautiful box art on a US release. That was actually something that was at the Happy Console Gamer, just did a segment on bad box art. I don't know what it is about the West, but we tend to get kind of screwed, and that's a pretty good one. Next is another one with some pretty cool box art. This is Sin and Punishment. Treasure, another fantastic developer. Thinking about things like Gunstar Heroes, Mischief Makers on the N64. We're talking Radiant Silvergun on the Saturn, Ikaruga on the Dreamcast. A lot of good games. Very good pedigree here, so I figured, hey, I'll give it a shot. Pretty surprised. This is a Rails shooter. At first I was a little apprehensive, because the first 10 minutes or so are a little weird, and it's tutorial. You're kind of learning how to move your character around into different segments of the screen, and you shoot separately, and it's you have to use the Wii mode. You can see on the back there, which I'm not a huge fan of. I think when it's used well in like Fragile Dreams, it's pretty interesting. But I'm kind of focusing on games you can use the traditional controller with. But this one is definitely an exception. I think it plays well with that Wiimote, and it's just neat. Once you get past the tutorial, you're talking a rail shooter with just, there's stuff going on all over the place, and you're shooting, and it's just a lot of fun. You owe it to yourself to check this one out. Sonic Colors. I am not a huge Sonic fan, but I sure loved the first game. Really enjoyed it. In fact, just recently I started wondering again, I guess, why am I not enjoying some more Nintendo games? I'm like, why am I not enjoying some more Sonic games? I think the new Sonic games are a little hit or miss. I had to look up Sonic Colors to kind of see, is it one of the good ones, is it one of the bad ones? But it's one of the good ones, and I played some of it. It's pretty darn cool. This stands in contrast to, let's say, Knights, the Knights game that came out on the Wii. I tried that one, and it wasn't all that good. I took it back. Sonic Colors, though, I think this one's pretty neat, so I'm definitely happy to have that on the Wii. Another pickup, Tales of Symphonia. This is a follow-up to the first one. This is Dawn of the New World. Now, I am not a Tales fan, and that's only because I just didn't get into the series, and it kind of exploded and had a whole bunch of releases, so it feels to me like trying to get into the Final Fantasy series if you hadn't played any of them before. Where do you start? Which ones are good? Are there some that are bad? What do I need to buy 12 games now if I like one of them? I mean, it's a little tough to approach these sometimes, but I've picked this one up now, so maybe I'll get Tales of Symphonia. I think it's available on the GameCube and the PS2, and check it out, because it seems like a cool game. Happy to have that one on my Wii. Next up is Valhalla Knights. And this is another Xseed release. Some of this might depend on your personality, whether you are interested in this game or not. I guess you can see from the back, it looks, like a little darker, maybe more realistic, maybe even almost a little Korean more than Japanese, but I've seen plenty of other Japanese games that look like this. It has kind of a Lost Odyssey sort of look to it. But at any rate, it's very, it feels a little bit budget. It's sort of like, okay, it's kind of Japanesey in this sort of style where it's like, it's just, we're going to make a game for gamers that just has game stuff, and we're just going to kind of throw you into a game. It's like game. And I like that. I like how it's a little bit cheesy. It reminds me of D3 releases a little bit. Maybe not quite that low budget, but it has that kind of feeling to it. And it's like a B game, basically. So I guess if you like Japanese B games, check this one out. Now, we're really going to step into the territory of games that I've purchased new. And I think I did go out of my way to pick up Fragile Dreams new when I got it. It was like $20, so it's really worth it, especially at that price. But what I have here is Xenoblade Chronicles. You sit down and you put it in, and it feels so familiar. It feels like you're playing every other 3D RPG that is good that you've ever played before in your life. If you liked Final Fantasy XII, and I mean I loved it, but I just kind of hated the characters, and it was also like Star Wars. So, but if you like that sort of an RPG, just check this game out. I understand why people were advocating for this to come out, because it seems really cool. When I sit down to play one of these games, really play it, the first one is going to be Xenoblade Chronicles, when I play more than just a few minutes of it. A very neat looking game. I also picked up The Last Story, and this is the special edition. I feel guilty because I haven't even put this in the Wii. It's one of those things, how you come home from work and you got something in the mail, you open it up, you're like, yeah, I got this thing, and then you go make dinner and watch YouTube and go to bed. I actually have yet to really put this into my system. But I went ahead and splurged on the special edition. I figured, why not? You've got the game, and there's an art book in there, and comes with a soundtrack. So, that's neat. I figured it seems like a pretty neat game. So, those are my Wii pickups so far. I do have some, I guess, honorable mentions. What I plan to add to this collection is Ghost Squad. I saw Alex from Return to Mother Base talking about this one, and I figured, heck, that seems pretty neat. I mean, I would have written it off as, I don't know, a Call of Duty clone, or, it sounds like Ghost Recon or something, but it's Ghost Squad. It's by Saga, and it's like a Virtua Cop arcade shooter. So I figured, heck, that sounds kind of fun, and this is supposed to have some different modes to it, and Alex really recommended that highly, so I'm probably going to check that one out. In addition to that, I watched The Skycrawlers on Netflix the other day, and that's Mamoru Oshii, and he, is a very famous anime director. Ghost in the Shell, the Patlabor movies, Avalon, the live-action movie. He's done a bunch of stuff, and he has his own style. So the Skycrawlers was very slow. It was very weird, and but by the end of it, it felt like it had talked about something kind of deep. And I really enjoyed it. It's what I needed at the time, and I really was happy to have watched it. And come to find out, there's a Skycrawlers game on the Wii, and I have no idea how it is. And it probably focuses on the airplane battle portion of it, maybe more than the story. But it sounds like the story is in there, and there's no way I'm not going to get that game because the anime movie was so good. So it's only $20 on Xseed's site right now. I'm probably going to order that as soon as I'm done making this video. Very excited to get that. And last up is Pandora's Tower. So this is the third and final entry into Project Rainfall's, games that they advocated for and petitioned for. So right now it's $39.99 for pre-order, eligible for free shipping on Amazon. So I've gone ahead and pre-ordered that. That theoretically is coming out March 26th. So a couple months from when I'm posting this video up. I still have a chance to pre-order that one. Probably have a chance to get it after it comes out. Pandora's Tower, definitely looking forward to getting that one. If there's other stuff on the Wii that you guys think I, personally would really enjoy, just based on the games that I've shown so far and the stuff that I like, let me know, or if there's stuff that you guys really like, maybe isn't necessarily the style of game that I go for, but is just super great, and you want to recommend it to me, just let me know what you guys like. I'd be curious to know what other stuff people enjoy on the system. And that's about it. Till next time. Thanks for watching.